All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Seven Figure Seller Summit, Day 2, Marketing and Branding Recap and Q&A. Excellent. And I'm super excited to have everybody join. Feel free to bring a cocktail as well. I know it's happy hour for you guys in the States. I am super excited to be with some of our guest speakers today. We're here with Vance Lee from Bali. He gave a great session about crowdfunding. How's it going, Vance?
Doing really awesome here. Pretty early for me, but I got some water and some tea and I'm good to go.
Yeah. I love the scenery where you're at, man. Bali, that's like one of the dream locations for a lot of people. Yeah, give us a glimpse of that.
You can black me out. Here you go. This is the villa.
Excellent.
I'm not feeling too bad for you that it's early in the morning and you get to hang out.
Excellent.
Not getting much sympathy points.
For sure. And for you guys watching, can you please type your name and where you're watching from in the chat, just so we know it's working. Everything's live. Okay. Next, I'd like to welcome Michelle Barnum Smith. How's it going, Michelle?
Good. I'm in my basement in Utah.
Wow. Okay.
At least it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, it's not whatever hour it is for Vance, but I'm not in quite. It's probably about as hot as Bali is.
Yeah.
It's not quite so exotic. Dang it.
You get a nice wooden backdrop. It's like a very, very nice place to feel. Yeah.
It's real. It's not.
Excellent.
I'm not faking it.
And Michelle gave a great masterclass about using chatbots for Amazon. I highly encourage you guys to check that out if you haven't already. And also, I'd like to welcome Destiny Wishan. Destiny, how's it going?
Woo, it's going amazing. Super pumped to be here.
Yeah. Where are you dialing in from today, Destiny?
I am in Bentonville, Arkansas, which honestly, we should have gone first. So it was a build up for the amazing tropical location. Now I feel like we're down.
Excellent. All right.
And
Destiny.
That's the hometown of Walmart, right?
Yes, it is. We're vendor world.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And Destiny gave a great session all about Amazon PPC, how to dominate sponsored brands, and definitely check that out if you guys haven't already. You can implement all that Amazon PPC strategy into your campaigns right away. And also, we have Alan Iov. He's actually not in the picture right now. Alan actually is in Mexico. They're expecting a hurricane to hit them in a couple of hours, a Category 4 hurricane. So I hope that he won't, that he'll be safe, first of all. And then, but if he does lose power, I mean, this is live. So I just appreciate that. And Alan's going to be back on in a minute.
This is 2020 live happening right now. Isn't this is like we just work in and around disasters,
Yeah. I know. We have people watching from all over the world. So hi, Cara. Good to see you. Rahul, good morning from India. Good to see you, my friend. Derek from Calgary, Canada. Susana from Miami. Wilma from New Jersey. And great to see everybody here today. And then I'm curious, before we begin, today we talked all about, marketing and branding. And for, everyone watching, I'm just curious, what is your number one takeaway so far from watching today? Maybe it was from, Vance's session about crowdfunding. Maybe it was Michelle's session about chatbots, or Destiny about Amazon PPC, or Alan as well. Alan has an amazing private label brand, Lumi World. And he spoke about it as a case study in his session, how he was able to go off of Amazon. And, he's gotten his baby products featured in Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot, both online and offline. And I think that that's a really cool way to do your distribution and your different expanding off of Amazon as well. So definitely this is awesome. So to kick things off, guys, I'm curious because, today, Amazon's so competitive. And then one of the number one things that so many people have told me, including you guys, is that you really have to build a brand, not just like a private label, like a Me Too product. I'm just curious. Can you share some of your thoughts, guys? Like what is a brand, and, why should people be building a brand today if they're an Amazon seller, or if they're an e-commerce seller? So who would like to dive into that first? about brand?
I'll start. Even though I'm known for, my expertise in ManyChat and chatbots, I've been doing marketing for over 20 years. And I started off in corporate high-tech marketing here in the States and worked with many of the Fortune 100 in the United States, as well as some of the largest brands in the world. And so I have had the opportunity to see the power of huge brands in the marketplace, as well as as well as the opportunity to work with Amazon sellers who are micro brands, who are just getting started in building out. And one of the key differences between selling on Amazon versus selling on your own website is that as an Amazon seller, you really have the opportunity to leverage the power of the Amazon brand to help you build your personal brand. When people are shopping on Amazon, like me, before I even knew that there were Amazon sellers behind the scenes, I just thought it was all Amazon. I bought my little whatever off of the app, and it showed up in a box, and all my good feelings were towards Amazon. And so it's really important as a brand owner and as a product developer to engage with your audience and to really, start to establish a connection with them directly, leveraging and piggybacking on the goodwill that people already have with the Amazon brand. That's so much easier than building a brand from scratch, basically, and trying to develop that relationship directly, via Facebook ads or whatever. People don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. But Amazon, they know, like, and trust. And you are in a very important position to leverage that brand to extend that brand value to your products as well.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great insight,
Yeah.
Michelle, about.
I'll jump off that for a little bit. So I think one of the biggest points that you called out is just leveraging Amazon as a brand. And with that, we have seen, more people jumping into the Amazon game than ever before. Private label sellers and, CPG brands, some of the largest brands in general, are moving all their budgets over to e-commerce and to Amazon. This was even before COVID. We really started to see the trend of moving towards Amazon, and then COVID hit and escalated everything by like 10 years. So not only can we pick up the phone and call anyone, a supplier, a brand designer, anything like that nowadays due to the internet and the market that we're in, but with that, it's increasing our competition tenfold. So no longer can you just throw up a private label product and hope it does well. You really have to tell that brand story, and you have to build something that consumers are going to buy into. We're no longer competing with just the 20 other private label sellers. Now we're seeing Johnson & Johnson moving millions of dollars of money onto the Amazon platform. So if you're not doing all the new and shiny branded things that we have, the store pages, the posts, the custom image beta, the video and search, you need to do those now before everyone else starts jumping on them and building that data. So building your brand is like the next step. I think we're slowly moving out of that private label era, and we're getting more and more competitive. So that's why I believe you need to have a brand.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like the evolution. Like, Amazon private label a couple of years ago, pretty much all you had to do is just like slap a brand on a Alibaba product, you could expect it to sell. But now it's like we're gradually getting more sophisticated, and we're seeing like the big players, like what you mentioned, like Johnson & Johnson, come in the niche as well. So definitely, you got to stay ahead that way. And Vance, maybe you could speak a little bit about that. And welcome back, Alan. Sorry, very quickly, I'd like to introduce you. Alan is coming in from Mexico, and there's a hurricane hitting very soon in Mexico. So I hope that you will be safe. But if you lose power, we totally understand. Alan gave a great session about his brand, Lumi World, and how he was able to take it off of Amazon to retail stores like that, Bed Bath & Beyond, like I think it was like Target and a whole bunch of others. And then right now, maybe I'll put you on the hot seat, Alan, because I see you're known as the brand man, and we were talking about, why is building a brand so important today, especially if you're an Amazon or e-commerce seller? Can you give some thoughts about that?
Yeah, sure. I'll go over it real quick. And sorry for stepping out. We got all kinds of crazy stuff happening, but it's so important, because the way I see it and the way I was kind of fuming about it just like a week ago, if you're selling just on Amazon, I was like, do you really own your business as like the sole owner, or does Amazon own it, right? You don't get any customer information. You don't get any really rights other than selling on their platform. And if you have no presence outside of Amazon, then you're not really so much as a company as you're a brand, or you're just a product selling on Amazon, right? And what is a brand? A brand is something that's a solid entity that stands on its own, right? It sells on multiple marketplaces. It sells to multiple people, and not just that, but it's known to customers, right? If you're, let's say, a mom, because I'm in the baby category. If you're a mom and you're looking around and you start seeing, let's say, a pair of diapers, or use my product, it's a nightlight. You see a nightlight in Target, then you see a nightlight, you're walking around in Walmart, or you're online and you see an ad for the same nightlight. That's what I think of as a brand. It's recognition from the customer, and they'll remember who you are. And it's just so much more likely that they're going to purchase your product. Even if they're a Amazon buyer and they're so loyal to Amazon, if they start seeing your product pop up everywhere, they're going to more likely purchase your product than if you're just a random product on Amazon, even if there's a name attached or a brand name attached to that product on Amazon. That's what a brand is to me.
Excellent. Yeah. And I love all the stuff that you shared in your session, how you were able to take it off, how you built that institutional website to make your company look like a real company, even though you were still running like a one-person show. I think there's a ton of takeaways. Highly recommend you guys check out Alan's session today. And I'd also like to ask this question to Vance, because I know Vance, you guys have created your brand in the coffee niche, leveraging Kickstarter. You created a tremendous audience. You have that list. I mean, it's like, the 1,000 true fans that you can, you get like product development ideas, feedback from, to get reviews and to launch. Can you speak a little bit about your thoughts why, people watching today, they should build a brand?
Yeah, I think Alan is I would like to jump off. Alan is on the right track with really being able to build something that customers will recognize. And at the end of the day, there's all these marketing terminologies about what a brand is, but at the end of the day, it's just really about how you're going to connect with your customer and how are they going to have an emotional connection to what you're doing and recognize you the next time that they think about baby products or coffee or whatever category that you're in. And that is really where the value comes from, and really being able to have that off of on Amazon, but also off Amazon. So we kind of accidentally discovered this when we started launching our products on Kickstarter. I know Michelle mentioned earlier about Amazon having a lot of reputation and the brand that allows people to have trust. And the Kickstarter had something very similar for us when we launched our first product on Kickstarter. And people were super, super excited about trying new products. They were super excited about just supporting something that's growing. So it became like a really, really great opportunity for us to be able to connect with the customers and tell the story about what we're about. And they became really, really connected to us as not only as the product that they use, but what the brand was about, what the story was in terms of developing it. And at the end of the day, it just became a really, really cool opportunity for us to engage with these first fans. So they became literally our first fans that would follow us through our following product launches. When we launched some new smaller products, when we launched our bigger flagship products, it became this really cool opportunity for us to engage them at every step of the way. And Alan touched on this earlier. When you don't really have access to your customers because Amazon doesn't allow that doesn't really allow you to have a long-term sustainable business. What if Amazon at some point decides, hey, something is not right with your listings, or they're just going to ban you for whatever reason, as we're seeing with a lot of sellers for just sometimes really random reasons. You don't have control of your business. So one key component of being able to have a brand and a business that's long-term sustainable is to be able to communicate with them, to be able to send them stuff, to be able to tell them, hey, this is what we're up to. Hey, what do you think about this? And whatever it is that you want to communicate with them. If you're not able to do that, then it's really difficult to establish kind of this like two-way relationship that's extremely important for developing a brand and a connection with your customer.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I also like to welcome Rob Siegel as well. Rob gave a great talk about brand protection. So it's kind of like looking at it, not only on offense, but also on defense, right? Like, like in basketball, you can't just, play offense and expect to win a championship. So sometimes you really got to protect that brand. So Rob and CJ, they really gave a great masterclass talking about how you can protect your brand. What are some of the important like IP assets So Rob, I'm curious. So what are your thoughts about this? I mean, not only why is it important, but why should people, think about protecting their brand?
Yeah, sure. So I think everyone hit on the word recognition, everyone who spoke. And when it comes down to defining a brand, to me, the word brand and trademark are synonymous. The definition of a trademark is a source identifier. And like Alan said, your product needs to be recognized, whether it's on the shelves in Walmart, whether it's online on Amazon or your own website. But building a brand is building recognition, and it's building consumer trust, whether it's taking the trust that Amazon has and capitalizing on that and building your own products and expanding in the way Alan has. But at the end of the day, once you've built that and once you've established your brand, it's also important, like we talked about today, to protect what you've built and make sure that you're protecting what you've built in the most amicable way possible, because the way you enforce and protect your brand also has an influence on how your brand is perceived by the public as well. Yeah,
for sure. And then, Vance, I had to mute you because I hear birds in the background in Bali. I know you're in the wild right now, so that's awesome, though. Meanwhile, Rob, thank you for
your birds are too loud, Vance. Yeah. Turn your birds down.
I'll tell them to be quiet. Sorry, guys.
All right, awesome. Meanwhile, welcome to everyone else that just joined us. Craig from Melbourne, Mark from North Coast of California. Hey, Mark. And also we had a question from Derek, actually. I'm curious if anyone wants to tackle this. He has a question about brand registering for Amazon. Ecomcrew recommended brand registering in the UK due to speed, which we did. How many countries would you recommend registering in? Does anyone have any insight on that? Maybe Rob, I know you deal a lot with brand protection, right? What do you suggest?
I would definitely say you should be brand registered everywhere you have rights registered, for sure, even if you're not selling there, because if people are selling your products in jurisdictions where you have registered rights and you don't want them to, or they might be selling counterfeit versions of your products, having brand registry gives you a heightened ability to enforce your rights there, whether you're selling on the platform or not. But if you're not brand registered and you want to do it as fast as possible, Amazon has the IP Accelerator program, which gets you brand registry access before your rights are actually registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So our firm used to help sellers register their trademarks, but now we actually recommend that sellers go through the IP Accelerator program if the purpose of registering their trademark is just for Amazon, because Amazon does give sellers who use Amazon's program and Amazon's attorneys a bit of a speed track to the brand registry access.
Definitely. Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, definitely, protect that asset. I mean, for a lot of sellers, I was talking to Kellyanne Video, who's speaking on day 5. She built a 7-figure business and she sold it. And I asked her, why did you sell it, Kellyanne? And then she felt like it was kind of risky because her brand was her biggest asset. It was worth more than all the money she had in her bank, her personal assets. So, she was a little worried it could all go away, right? So that's why, protecting your brand, whether it's through brand registry or through, protecting your IP, all the stuff that Rob covered in his session. I think even though it's not the sexiest topic, it is something that you gotta pay attention to, right? So definitely I like to highlight that. And thank you, Derek, for that question. So can you see how powerful this is, guys? I mean, you have these 5 experts live with you on the call, and then you can ask them anything you want about marketing and branding. I mean, I think that there's huge value here for you guys. I encourage you to speak up, to ask any questions. And also, I think one of the best ways to learn and to move your business forward is to have an accountability partner. So if you know of anyone that you're thinking of right now, maybe they're selling on Amazon already, or they're thinking about it, I'd like you to just share this with them so you guys can watch it together. So this way you can keep each other accountable. Maybe you saw something from a different angle. So this way you can help each other, because I don't want you guys to just be isolated. That's one of the main reasons I decided to do this, because I wanted to invite all these experts from all over the world so that everyone can help each other this week at the summit. All right. So this is great, guys. Also, quick shout out to Liran. He's watching from home today. So great to see you. Thanks for coming on yesterday and the first day. And Rahul had a great comment about he agrees developing, establishing a brand and not just another brand on Amazon. Always be prepared to ditch Amazon if you ever need to. So growing your brand is quite important. 100% we agree, Rahul. Okay, great. So, okay, very quickly, I just like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Amazon Sellers Lawyer. So Rob is one of the partners there, along with CJ, and they work especially with Amazon sellers. They've helped a lot of people, if they get suspended, to help them get their accounts back, also for brand protection. So, I mean, obviously you can do it yourself, but sometimes, you want to outsource so you can focus on your core strengths, right? So they can help develop IP rights to stop hijackers. They can help monitor your listings, identify hijackers. They can even help with cease and desist communications that persuade hijackers to get off your listing. And CJ says it like they're kind of like the oncologists, right? You never want to see them, but sometimes, I mean, if something happens, you gotta, know who to call, right? So I encourage you guys to reach out to them if you need some help, or at least just have them in your black book, okay? And then we have their contact phone number, 1-877-9-seller, and they also have a 2020 guide to Amazon suspensions, which you guys can get at AmazonSellersLawyer.com/7FSS. And I will drop that in the chat. Rob, anything else you'd like to add about brand protection and how to protect your brand if you're an Amazon or e-commerce seller?
Well, I think if you're trying to protect your brand on your own, like we said before, the most important thing is getting your rights registered, whether it's a trademark, a patent, or even registering your copyright with the Library of Congress. But when you're enforcing on your own, I think what a lot of sellers might not realize is how important it is to stay organized. We use our own software that helps us track things like test buys and seller IDs and contact information and everything that we need to track in order to submit our complaints to Amazon and keep track of whether we've sent the cease and desist letter and things like that. And as your brand becomes more successful, and as that brand does become a little bit sexier and appealing to the hijackers or the other sellers who might want to copycat the product, you need to stay on top of it and be aware of who you're dealing with. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the same seller appear across 10 different clients' brands. And, if you deal with them once before and you keep track of what you're doing, it makes it that much easier to get back in touch with them another time or figure out who they are, or add another complaint ID to Amazon when you're trying to escalate the issue for another brand. And I think just staying organized and really keeping track of what you're doing is really important for the sellers who are trying to do it on their own.
For sure. All right, that's great advice. And again, sorry for the background noise. I'm working from home. Harrison is having breakfast right now here in Japan. Okay. Meanwhile, I'd like to ask Michelle, I know you have to run a little early, but you have something special prepared for people watching today for a lucky winner. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so is it my trivia question? Like if they get the trivia question right?
I think that would be cool. If you have a trivia question, or if we can talk about, maybe, yeah, let's do trivia. That sounds good.
I don't know how we're doing the contest, guys. We're doing a contest. That's what we're doing. So we're making it up as we go.
This is live. Okay. We could do like, the marketing 4 Ps. I was thinking, we can go to like old school marketing, product placement, promotion. No. Okay, I got okay, Michelle has a better idea. Okay, you take it away, Michelle.
All right, guys. So you have to comment the answer to this question, and then we'll pick a winner from the correct. So you guys gotta be like Scouts Honor, like don't use Google, okay? So I want you to think about it, and then the winners, the people who put it right, and I'll review the answers, and then we'll pick a winner for access to cut out. Am I still here? The question is, what was Amazon originally going to be named? What was Bingo originally going to name Amazon? Because it wasn't.
And please put your name in the comment as well.
Nobody's
Okay?
anything.
Just to
You
make
know the
sure.
answer.
Yeah.
You have to comment on this video, and then Gary, like, hopefully we'll be able to look at the comments.
Yeah.
And go from there. So
we will follow up with the winner. We are going live simultaneously both on YouTube and Facebook. So you may not see all the responses on your side, but we will reveal all of them and we will pick them up.
So we're going to keep our mouths shut, and we're not going to reveal the answer until later, or you can look it up after you've made a guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
okay.
We'll take a look at that, and then winners can get in access to my $1,000 course.
Yes. Yeah. Michelle is the queen of chatbots. So if anybody has any questions for Michelle, please ask them right now, because I know she has to run in like just a couple minutes.
I do have my side job, which is being a mother, and they are currently feral somewhere in the house.
she has some hungry kids. So definitely, get her before she has to go. Okay. We had a good question a couple minutes ago for Alan. This is from Cara Niles Brown. Alan, you spoke today of listing your success on your website. What do you list if you are just starting out?
Yeah. So if you're just starting out, you're not selling anywhere right now. Are you talking about on the homepage a little bit down where you can put all the places that you're selling at currently? If that, I'm going to assume that she is. If she does say that, then I'll continue. But I'll assume that's what she's talking about. There's a lot of different stores or retail e-commerce websites that you can start selling on immediately. There's places like Etsy. There's places like eBay. You could even, if you really want to get started and you have a product that you're proud of, get to a few stores that are in your area and try to get into those stores. And then you can list the name of those stores onto your website. So at least when people do come to the website and see, they'll be like, oh, okay, this product is already selling in stores, which, a lot of e-commerce products don't. It gives you a little bit more credibility. Selling on eBay, selling on Etsy, you can put Amazon on there. Just having more than one place that you're selling on and having that as kind of like a success looks really good. And then as you start getting bigger stores, you might get some kind of like drop shipping program on Home Depot, which is a lot easier to get than you might think if you know how to approach them. Then you can go ahead and add Home Depot on there, and you just keep building that, and it just looks better and better.
And that goes to my point that I made earlier about brand development and the whole like brand association and positive nature of being a seller on Amazon. All those other logos on your website have their own kind of brand association that people are like, oh, so it's definitely one of those things where, the positive brand identities that those brands have can then carry over to your brand and just help bolster that people's opinions.
Yeah, and this is where Kickstarter is really awesome as well. I'm finding that I meet a lot of sellers actually now that they're considering not launching immediately on Amazon first. And Kickstarter is actually a really, really cool way to have success publicly. And it's really interesting because you can sell millions of dollars on Amazon, and regular people don't really know how credible you are other than just looking at the reviews. And sometimes that can or cannot work in your favor. But with Kickstarter, if you have a successful campaign, even if it's $20,000 or $30,000, it lives there forever. And anytime that you search the brand name or the product name, if you haven't picked something extremely, extremely common as a name, it generally shows up in the first 3 to 5 search results in Google. So you become there online. So it's a really cool way to have people, when they're researching your brand, show up on a credible website showing public results, which is really interesting because there's not another platform that has that type of mechanism, and it's there forever. So it's really, really cool to have that as an addition to the launch strategy and be able to launch on Amazon afterwards and already have customers that say, hey, cool, we know who you are. And some people might even buy your product on Amazon, which we're finding a lot of our customers buy on Amazon afterwards and then leave us a review. So it's a really cool way to kind of get your name out there publicly and with not so much more work than you would to launch on Amazon. So.
Yeah, 100%. And that's social proof as well, right? Because like what you said, if that shows up, at the top of the search results on Google, I mean, that's huge. And you're not just, an Amazon brand, you're like a real company. And I saw like, on your Kickstarter, Vance, there's like a ton of like comments, people are really excited about it. They're like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out. I was one of your backers as well. I was really excited to get your product. I think you can repurpose that. Yeah. I'm a coffee aficionado as well, so if anyone is into coffee, definitely check out, Vance's, their products. But I think you can repurpose that, right? Almost like a testimonial. Exactly, yeah. You can take like screenshots or share it over social. You can really like repurpose that in a lot of ways. So I think that's awesome.
That's a really good point, because at the end of the day, you're getting customers to interact with your brand. And one of our biggest focuses of the Kickstarter is actually not the campaign itself. It's after the campaign when we talk to the customers to get them to create what we call it's called user-generated content. So people unboxing videos, taking photos, reviews that they send us, and this goes everywhere. It goes into like our website. It goes into like emails that go out to customers. It goes on. It's just like things we release to the press. Anything like that is built from the user-generated content that the customers create, and it's a really awesome way to do that.
100%. Yeah. So these are all some great ways that we can do this. To list your successes. Thank you, Cara, for the question. I hope that helps. And Michelle, I know before you run, we have some responses. I think we have a winner here. I'm looking at the chat from all sides, and the first person that came in with
Am I the only one allowed?
Yeah, with the correct is Susana Marin, Cadabra. We have a winner. Congratulations, Susana.
And the reason why I didn't get chosen is because his lawyer heard him say cadaver. He was like,
cadaver. There you go. And the rest is history.
I have a question about this, Michelle. I saw that Martin N said relentless, and I had heard that it was relentless. And
is it relentless?
If everybody goes to relentless.com right now, guess what happens?
We go to the Amazon?
It went to Amazon.
It redirects to Amazon.
Mm.
So I heard that it was Bezos's ego wanted to make it relentless, and that was turned down. But he still bought the domain, and relentless redirects to Amazon. So I'm not sure what the correct answer is. I heard that on Aziz Ansari's Netflix special.
Yeah,
but
controversy.
I typed it into Google, and so I don't know. Google is. I don't have
get the fact check yourself.
Well, we'll let Michelle decide because she's the one doing the giveaway, so she can decide on the correct. But according to all the chat responses, Susana, you're the first one with Cadabra. So please reach out to us by email, support@sevenfiguresellersummit.com, and we'll connect you with Michelle to so you can get your course and you can get your chatbot started with your business. So congratulations, Suzanne. This is awesome. Congrats. All right, great.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks so much
for joining us, Michelle.
Yeah. Okay. See you, Michelle.
Good night.
See you later. Okay. All right, guys. So, great. I'm curious. Destiny, you gave a super detailed presentation today about dominating, sponsor brands and, like all the new like ad types available out there. I'm curious if people haven't caught your session, if they want to just have like one takeaway about Amazon PPC, what would that be that you can give to everyone watching today?
Man, stay on top of the new stuff. That's the biggest thing. I mean, we've had all these conversations about branding. That is what we're getting 90 times more control of on the sponsored side. Test everything new. It's going to get better. Amazon allows you to test really small. We don't have these ridiculous minimums like you're being pitched with DSP and everything that's more top of the funnel. So when we get these new sponsored display campaigns, when custom image beta and store spotlight mobile and all these new shiny things are rolled out, get them rolling. I had a conversation with Lego quite a few months ago, and I was like, man, are you guys doing video and search? It's super exciting. And the response was, it doesn't make sense from a scope of budget to make videos for every single one of our SKUs. So it's just not top of mind right now. Opportunities like that are where small sellers can dominate because they can move so much quicker than any big brands. So when you get that new stuff, Video and Search was released in October. That's when you have the opportunity to really take advantage and collect data and compete with the big name players that are able to spend $10 a day on one keyword, one CPC, $10. We can't compete with that. We had to differentiate and diversify with new ad types.
100%. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's the first mover advantage, right? You got to just be the early mover. And, when the costs are low, when, competition isn't that fierce. I remember I went to a conference several years ago when Tyler, your business partner, he gave a talk about headline search ads. And then, when he was giving the presentation, I was sitting with my laptop open. I was just implementing right there on the spot. And then afterwards, I talked a little bit with Tyler offline. And then he helped just look through the campaigns. And then, we got really good results. It was low A cost. We were getting conversions. And just because we were so early before most other people knew how to do it, right? So I highly, highly encourage you to check out Destiny's session. She's talking about the latest and the breaking, the stuff out there today that you can implement right away before everyone else does. So, when A cost is still low and competition is still low. And then another key takeaway that I noticed, whether it's, Destiny talking to Lego and, they're not willing to invest in this new ad type because it doesn't make sense for their $1 billion business. And, yesterday we were talking with Emma, marketing from Emma. She's a 7-figure copywriter. A lot of these huge brands on Amazon, they're putting zero effort into their listing. They have 2 images. They have 3 bullets. They don't have all the keywords. And then you can come in as a private label seller and you can actually overtake them, because those big businesses, they're like the Titanic. They're just chugging along and you're like a little speedboat. You can really pivot very quick. Everybody watching today, whether you're a 6-figure seller looking to scale up to 7 figures, or a 7-figure seller, looking to stay ahead, some of these takeaways, or if you're just starting out, I mean, you still have a great chance against the big players, right? So I definitely encourage you guys to take action right now. And had a great comment from Sharon. Hello, everyone. So much content here in just 2 days. I just received approval today for my Amazon seller account. So excited to start this journey. So Sharon, congratulations, first of all. That's awesome. And we're super excited for you. And let's do this, right? You can watch these sessions, but more importantly, take action, right? So this is awesome. Okay, great. We had a question from Steven here. I think for some countries, you can't get a patent for a product if it's in the market already. How about if it's in the market for a different country? I'm thinking of UK or Australia after US initially. What do you guys think about that? Rob, that might be a good question for you.
Yeah, so I can really only speak to the US law. So in the US, you can't patent something if it's been available to the public for 1 year or more. But in other countries, I'm really not familiar with the law, and I wouldn't want to say anything that I'm not positive on. But usually the search term would be about invalidity or prior art in patents if you were looking at other jurisdictions.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, that's a touchy subject. Maybe follow up with Rob offline about that. I mean, we can't really give formal legal advice on a live call like this. So we had another interesting question. Derek, this question is for me. Hi, Gary. You mentioned brand registering in China earlier today. How could we go about this? And do we need a Chinese speaker to assist? Is there an annual renewal fee? I believe Derek, what you're referring to is getting your brand trademarked in China, not brand registry for Amazon, because Amazon, they pulled out of China because they got crushed by Alibaba. So it does make sense. I was talking to some of the speakers like Vance today about that, because in China, the trademark system is a little different. It's actually first to register. So what that means is if someone registers, this actually happened to Apple. like a couple of years ago, like with iPad. Some other company actually registered iPad before Apple did, and then Apple couldn't properly launch, like legally launch in China because someone else owned the trademark in China. So they had to negotiate and like settle and pay them some huge amount. So the thing is, it makes sense for private label sellers to register their brand in China just to protect yourself in case one of your competitors registers your brand. Because if they do that, they can actually do things like prevent you from exporting if they own that trademark in the country. So this is kind of a side topic, but just definitely be aware of that. If you are interested in learning more about that, I do have a Chinese lawyer that in Shanghai. He can help with that. So send me an email, support@7figureseller summit about that. Okay, cool. So we have another question from Sambath Seng Hi, thank you. Someone has a dog in the background as well.
Sorry.
I think they want to get in on the call. Yeah, no worries. We have a new private brand product sample being created. If our branding doesn't completely align with the end product, how do you pivot? Do you change the logo or do you change the target audience? What do you guys think about that? Any comments? We have a new private label brand.
If no one's going to jump in,
yeah,
I think it's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot of different considerations with something like that. From an attorney's perspective, you don't necessarily have to have a trademark that corresponds with your logo. Your trademark could just correspond with the name of your brand. So that could help make the transition a bit easier. But it's also important to remember that the trademark is also in correspondence with the type of goods or services that you offer. So if that completely changes, there's also some other considerations in terms of registering your rights that are associated with the brand. But in terms of marketing and how you sell and bring that product to market, I think the other speakers would probably have that insight.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And we have another question for Vance. This is from Cara. I was going to ask you, Vance, I've heard horror stories about somebody stealing your idea and going to market before you get there. Vance, what advice would you give Cara?
I'd assume that you mean after the Kickstarter campaign or after a launch, somebody else is launching faster or like producing the product faster. I have heard about this as well. This can happen on any platform. This is not isolated to Kickstarter. I get this question actually a lot. If you launch a really successful product on Amazon, you see a lot of Chinese sellers copying. There's like so many Chinese sellers on Amazon right now just looking to see when products are successful. So it's nothing to do with the platform itself, but I think a lot of this can be, I don't think it can be 100% prevented, but it can be mitigated with stronger supplier relationships. We visit a lot of our suppliers. Like we work with our suppliers over usually a year before the product launches, depending on the product complexity, sometimes just a couple months, but we make sure that we know who they are. We go visit their factories. We talk to them. If this is going to be a serious product, sometimes if it's more of like a simple product, private label, like very, very simple private label product, maybe not so much. But if it's something that I'm going to spend a lot of time developing, it's going to be in a situation where I want to spend time with the supplier, really understand who they are. So it's not necessarily just going to be like an Alibaba type of situation. So the core part of it is to have a really, really, really strong relationship with your supplier to make sure that you're not losing it from the supplier side. They're not starting to sell it to somebody else. They're not kind of letting your IP go to other people that want to see new products, and they're going to send that off, because that definitely happens as well. I've had that happen with a previous product of mine where the product was a fairly successful product, and this supplier was telling other people, like other customers, about the product. And needless to say, that was not something that we continued working with them on. So I think the first place that you can make a difference here is to be able to have a strong relationship with your supplier. Otherwise, a lot of the other stuff that comes from other people deciding, hey, like I see this product and it's going to do well, and they decide they want to develop it really quickly. Other than having patents, even patents, you'll need quite a bit of money to enforce. So this is not it's a difficult problem to address in this short call, but it's in general, it's really difficult to prevent that type of thing from happening regardless of the platform that you're on. So Kickstarter, Amazon, wherever you're gonna sell. If somebody sees that you're gonna do well and they wanna jump on it, there might be a chance that that's unfortunately gonna happen. So that's where developing your brand also really makes a big difference. Being associated with the people that have developed this product first, and have a connection to your customer that cares about it. So I've seen a lot of successful Kickstarter brands that launched that got knocked off, and people still choose to buy their product even though it's $20, $30 more expensive, being 20 to 40% more expensive, and people still choose to buy from the original brand because they have a connection to that the people that did it, rather than just a random knocked off product.
100%. And Alan, you mentioned this as well, right? Because similar to what Vance said, the fact that you have a brand, you have an audience, people can see you in Bed Bath & Beyond and physical retail stores. Like, how does that protect you, against the knockoff, all these competitors?
Yeah, a lot of people want products that they're comfortable with, or brands that they're comfortable with. So like Vance was saying, even if your product, like I have tons of people who are trying to knock us off, but they aren't really being successful because they would rather have my product, even though I'm about $5, $6, $7 more expensive than the competitors. It's a lot of times it's the first to market, the most reviews, the most visibility. That's the kind of stuff, you're going to be copied. I think there's even like similar Apple products, right, that are being copied, like AirPods that kind of look similar. No matter how big you are, you're always going to be copied. It's the things that you do that can prevent other people from buying those knockoffs. And it's funny that you would say that, right? It's you see in that someone who created something that's similar to an Apple product, right? And you're going to call that a knockoff. So it's really important, just the branding, like we're all talking about right here. And then, there's also exclusivity contracts with your suppliers. If you look like you're a big brand, even if you're not completely a big brand yet, a lot of suppliers will be really excited to work with you, and you'll be able to negotiate some kind of exclusivity contract. Whether that can be held up in a court or not is another issue. I think if you have a business in China, then you can enforce that. We have a lot of exclusivity contracts with our suppliers, and it's worked really well for us.
And Alan, David had a question talking about exclusivity contract with your suppliers in China. David asked, do you use an NNN agreement? And how about if they agree to sign but want to delete monetary damage amount? Walk away? Very specific question. Curious what you guys have to think. This is not legal advice. We're just giving our opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely not legal advice, but I can give my opinion on this. My opinion on this is that these contracts are great to have, like Alan said, to just have like a formal relationship, but it's not. This is not what's really going to protect you if they want to do something sneaky, or they. At the end of the day, you still need to be able to enforce it. You need to have you need to be able to kind of make them accountable to the contract, and it's a little bit difficult it's a little bit difficult with a lot of money and to be in a different country. So I think my experience is that it's really about developing the relationship. So you can have all these agreements in place, but at the end of the day, if they trust you, they know who you are, they believe that there's a long-term relationship here that can benefit their business. That's really what's going to protect you over the digitally signed NNN agreement. So I'm not to say don't have it, and again, not legal advice, but it's my experience is that really having really strong relationships is what's going to protect you, rather than trying to enforce a random agreement between people in different countries. And there's a lot of intricacies there that's extremely difficult to enforce later on. Even if there's a monetary damage amount or not, it's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, 100%. And then Raul had a good comment as well. Make sure all agreements are bilingual, both in Chinese and in English. This is something that we do as well. If it is going to be, an agreement, make sure it's bilingual. And this is kind of beyond the scope of today, marketing and branding, but it's a good question. We wanted to briefly touch upon it. Okay. And so Cara says, thanks you, Vance, supplier relationships or brand establishment, also cute dogs. So that's great, living the lifestyle.
Yeah,
okay, we
dogs
have
are like fighting in the back.
Yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show if you can build an e-commerce business successfully. For a lot of people, it means like location independence. You can be like Vance, traveling in Bali, with the birds and the dogs in the background, but still running like a hugely successful business, or even like Alan in Mexico. He's able to. I know, like we just spoke right before the summit. He actually just moved to Mexico recently, which is amazing. So I think that it really helps you with independence, which is something very important for a lot of people. And also, thanks Rahul. Cute Harrison. He says hi in the background. Our son. He's 21 months and doing our best here. All right, so. We're almost out of time, guys. I know that a couple other speakers have some giveaways. Let's start with Alan. So you're known as the brand man, and you're creating a training that can you share a little bit more about that for people that want to find out?
Yeah, so I'm creating a course right now. It's not complete, but the goal of the course is kind of to hold your hand step by step on if you have a product, to get it retail ready, that is to sell it in multiple marketplaces, sell it in stores, how to approach buyers, how to get into stores, experts with, I have a few mentors, $100 million companies that they sold that are going to be on the show that'll I'll ask questions. And it's just, I think it's very, very important to expand into other marketplaces. And basically, this course is to kind of teach you how to do that. Right now for the 7-Figure Summit, I'm offering half off of the course. It's not complete yet. The prerequisites part of the course is complete, which is basically getting your product retail ready. I'll guide you through product packaging, what kind of media do you need, what kind of pricing. Obviously you need wholesale pricing, how to get that done. How to set up trademarks. It's going to have everything every little detail that's available right now, and then I'll be releasing module after module. I plan to have the whole course probably done by October. So it's $2,000 half off right now for $1,000. And then you were mentioning some kind of giveaway to give. I didn't really have a chance to figure that out because of the whole hurricane situation kind of got thrown on me, but I'd be happy to give 2 random people an additional $500 off the course, like a course credit.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Should we do a trivia question? Is this okay? Wait, this is for the All Access Pass members? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely one of the bonuses for you guys, if you haven't upgraded already, is you can get discounts off of trainings like Alan's with creating a brand, like how he's done it off of Amazon, so you can diversify. And how can people learn more about it besides going to your page, your sessions page?
You can go to www.the-brandman.com, and I'll have an intro video there on the front page that tells you everything, every little thing that you'll find in the course, why it's important. And then one more thing I did want to add that I forgot to add, that's a big selling point, is that I'm going to be including a massive buyers list. That's going to be their emails, their phone numbers of the buyers in all categories in all the major stores. So, Home Depot, Target, the e-commerce buyer, the in-store buyer, for if you're toys, we'll have toys. If you're home and garden, whatever, you'll have home. So, that list by itself costs several $1,000s. I'm going to be including that for free inside the course as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Definitely check that out. And you can find more details on Alan's session page and also the All Access Pass area for you guys that have already upgraded. And Vance, I know that you're sharing, you're creating a course on crowdfunding as well. For people that want to learn more, how can they find out more about that?
Yeah, so the course on crowdfunding I'm launching next month. I've been doing this crowdfunding work with my products personally, but a lot of other, mostly just people that I've been connected with through friends and just supporting their launches. So this is the first time I'm bringing this into a course masterclass format where it's going to be over 6 weeks, and you're really going to dive into everything that it takes to launch a successful crowdfunding project, which is not very different than launching a successful having a successful Amazon launch. So you'll be creating the assets that you'll be creating for an Amazon launch, like your photos, like your compelling copy. Video is something that Destiny mentioned earlier is going to be super important. So if you're not doing that now, I think it's really important for you to consider that this is not necessarily going to be optional in the future. You might as well just jump on this now. So all these elements that you're going to create for a Kickstarter campaign, it's not different than an Amazon campaign or a launch for an Amazon product. So essentially going to have this masterclass that's going to walk you through that entire process and how to successfully launch a campaign. And the one benefit that I didn't mention earlier about this is that unlike an Amazon launch strategy, if you didn't see our talk earlier with Gary, that crowdfunding is really unique in the sense that you don't actually have to invest money in creating the product first. You're actually putting out the campaign. So you're creating, all you need is a prototype, and you're using that to create the entire campaign, the photos, the videos, the copy, and customers will pre-order your product before you invest a single dollar into inventory. So you're essentially be able to get all these pre-orders in advance, and then you have the money paid out 15 days after the campaign closes to be able to order the inventory for your launch. So that's when people that are not so cash flow positive can take advantage of a method that allows you to get customers and the money before you place the manufacturing order with your supplier. So this is a really cool way to transition to Amazon afterwards, or to whatever channel of your choice afterwards. After you have that successful launch. So essentially, it's a 6-week masterclass, and it's going to walk you through everything that you need to know about crowdfunding and get you set up for success, because that's all those things you need for developing your brand on Amazon and through other channels like Alan mentioned, which is extremely important. So you can
find out more about that?
Yeah, so there's some free resources on livemyplayground.com. So LIVE playground.com/7FSS, and there you can just download some free videos about what the six-figure mastermind blueprint is going to look like. And on that next page, if you're interested, you can just apply for the course. We're taking 6 students this time around because it's their very first one. We want to make sure that there's going to be focus for the people that subscribe. And if you're interested, we're going to be offering the tuition for like a free credit for anybody that's a part of the All Access Pass. But also, we can do a giveaway for somebody here that's not a part of that as well for $600 credit. Gary, you can decide the best way to do that.
Yeah, let's do a quick giveaway before we go. Talking about crowdfunding. What do you have a trivia question, Vance, you'd like to do?
Not off the top. Do you have anything that you want to?
Hey, Gary, I liked what we did the other day where you asked everyone what their long-term goal was, and then you had the speakers pick what their favorite answer was, something like that.
Let's do that. Yeah, thank you for the reminder, Rob. Everybody watching today, okay, now's your chance. Okay, you can get a huge discount if you want to, get into crowdfunding. What is the number one goal? Why you want to build a 7-figure e-commerce or Amazon business? It's not just about the money. Okay, so if you want to create like that $1 million business, why do you want to do that? Is it because you want to spend more time with your family, or you have this cause you're supporting? Type your answer in the chat box right now, and then we'll let Vance pick the winner. Okay, we'll let Vance pick the winner. All right, and then while they're doing that, Destiny, before we let you go, what is the best way people can connect with you and Better AMS if they want to learn more to dominate PPC?
Man, if you guys want to know anything about Amazon advertising, have any questions, curious about all of the 9 million rollouts that happened over the last 8 months, definitely add me on Facebook, follow me on LinkedIn, check out our YouTube, or go to our site at betterams.com. I am constantly answering any questions, and anything you guys have, any strategic recommendations you need, reach out to me, and I will try to get you a full video walkthrough answering those questions.
Amazing.
So
and then also, you can find the links below all of the speaker sessions as well. So if you want to follow up with Destiny or Vance, Alan, and Rob as well. Okay. So as those questions are coming in, before we go, we had one last question from Craig. who said, Tim Jordan said the Australian launch wasn't the best with not getting many buyers or sellers on the platform. Is it still worth getting products into this market? Do you think Amazon will get this sorted? Does anyone have any thoughts about Australia? My personal thoughts are I have launched one of my kitchen products in Australia, and it was just like a trickle of sales compared to what we're doing in the US. So, I mean, obviously it depends on your product, but it's not, I mean, it's not going to be like a game changer in my opinion. And also in Australia, eBay is actually doing much better than Amazon. But I mean, I don't doubt Bezos. I mean, he has the money and the resources and the time as well, right? So definitely, I mean, depends on your product, but that's just my personal experience. What do you guys think?
I'll add to that. We've launched quite a few brands out there. One thing I'm going to call out on your comment is you mentioned there's not a lot of sellers. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That means you get in and you can get your brand established as the number one. But in terms of it being an Amazon issue, it's always also going to be a market issue. There's just not as many consumers over there. So we've launched in every single marketplace, and we've rarely seen any of the other marketplaces do near as well as the US. Yes, the US is way more competitive. So when you look at CPCs and PPC competition, there's hardly any competition in any other marketplace. Like we launched in Australia and saw like 10% ACOS, which was half of what we saw in the States. But in terms of, is it worth it? Is it going to be the thing that takes your business to the next level? Probably not. But you're building a brand. So get in early, establish that brand, and wait for it to be more scalable in the future.
100%. Thank you for that. And we hope that helps, Craig. Before we let you guys go, Vance, we have some answers. Why don't you pick the winner? Okay, we have Rahul, who said Bali whenever I want. That's why he wants to do this. We have Victoria. My answer is still the same, to spend more time with my daughter and give my mom an awesome retirement. Thanks again to CJ, Rob, and Gary for putting this together. And we have Sharon. After teaching for over 25 years, it's time to create a new life for myself and my family. Okay. And we have Cara. I want to secure my own retirement while donating 20% until that point, then pay myself a salary, give the rest away, hoping it generates a network of like-minded people who want to help people, have a side gig, art class therapy I want to take out to help people heal on many different levels. And someone else said, my son needs a job. I have to employ him. And a couple others want to be the man rather than work for him. Alan Dunbar, want to be the man rather than work for him. The company makes bad decisions that affects my livelihood. It's my fault, not someone else's. I will pivot and keep going. And Jen Xiu Lu, stand up from life, set sample for others, how to move up in life. Okay.
Wow, there's so many good answers. This is really difficult to choose. Let's do this. I'll pick Victoria, but I think anybody that's actually interested, you can email me at hello@livemyplayground.com, and we'll connect and see if there's any way that I can help you with
awesome. This. All right, congratulations, Victoria. Definitely. Can you give your email again, Vance?
The email is hello, HELLO, at livemyplayground, so LIVEMY playground.com.
Okay, cool. And if you didn't catch that, just email us at support@sevenfiguresellersummit.com, and then we'll connect you with Vance. With that, this is awesome. Before I let everyone go, just a quick reminder. If you missed some of the sessions yesterday, we do have the all access pass offer. So you can get full access to everyone's videos, all of the audios. You can listen to them on the go. And we have additional bonuses such as discounts off Alan's course, Vance's course. Destiny had some amazing bonuses as well. And also from Rob. So we also have a Facebook group as well. So you can ask questions, and a lot of the speakers today, they're in that group as well. So if you're considering it, definitely consider the upgrade. And then also a portion of the proceeds from the summit, we're working with an orphanage in Cambodia. We're helping out some underprivileged kids with food and also with their clothes, because prices are going up in Cambodia due to COVID as well. So definitely consider that if you're thinking about it. And other than that, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vance. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Rob. Also, much appreciated Michelle, who had to run early. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. And today we covered marketing and branding. If you missed anyone's session from today, I highly recommend you guys check it out. I think just like one nugget or takeaway, it could really like escalate your business. And whether it's you're saving for retirement, or you need to employ your son, or if you want to live like Vance in Bali or Alan in Mexico. I think this is one of the great ways to do that. So, and then tomorrow we're talking about scaling your business to 7 figures. So people were asking about launching in Australia. Rahul was asking about Amazon India. We have a 7-figure seller from India, Varun. He'll teach you how to sell in India, how to source from Indian suppliers. Don't miss that. We have someone talking about Amazon Japan, Nick Katz, the Japan guy. He's been in Japan for about 25 years. He's British, but he runs a 7-figure e-commerce business selling in Japan as well. And then we also have Greg Mercer, founder of Jungle Scout. He's going to teach you 4 new ways to get reviews in 2020 without getting your account suspended. So that's a huge one. We also have Mike Jackness. He's going to tell you how he runs a team of VAs in the Philippines, so he can work on his business, not in his business. Nathan Hirsch. We have a stacked lineup for tomorrow. Definitely don't miss that tomorrow. All right. So other than that, much love. Thank you again, everybody. I'm so grateful for your time, and hopefully this is helpful to everyone. So stay safe out there. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. And we will, and thank you everybody for calling in, and we'll see you tomorrow. And also bye from Harrison. All right. Take care, guys.